Okay. Ah, so let's just take a breath together, take a moment to arrive in this time, in this space. I'm going to go ahead and have a look at the gallery view so I can just plug into everyone on this call today. Leanne from Powell River, welcome, welcome. So beautiful. And there's Jeff Jones from Chicago. I see you. hmm. Yeah, lots of beautiful faces, some new faces, some familiar faces. I just want to acknowledge you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your yes to loving yourself more. Thank you for your yes to really leading the change that we wish to see. Because I know that people that show up for my calls are all about being the change, leading the change. They're feeling this call to live in a more expanded, unified way. So I just want you to know that I see you, I'm with you, and welcome. Okay, better take my gallery view off. I'm getting overstimulated here. So funny. I haven't done this for a couple of years. And so all of those nerves, right? That nervous-sided energy has been with me very dominantly for the last few days. And I've been telling myself, I need to review, I need to make some notes, make an outline, and of course just keep getting told no. Just arrive, make yourself available. You know this stuff, and to just trust that whatever is meant to come through will come through. So I did put the workbook in the chat because I know some of you may not have gotten it in the Facebook group. So the Facebook group is Unlimited Love. No, I changed the Facebook group name. That's funny. I'm like tapping into 2 years ago when I did this. Heart-Centered Living Community is the Facebook group that you want to join for this 5-day challenge, I'm going to say, because it is a challenge. It's a challenge to up level yourself. It's a challenge to step into the next highest version of you. It's a challenge to really just make the changes that you know have been asking you to align with, right? So do join that Facebook group. The homework threads will be there. The replays will be posted after 4 o'clock each day. So you can watch the replay. You can please post your homework in the homework thread. Yeah, I just see more and more people coming in still. So let's just take a few breaths, take a moment to arrive, and have your workbook handy. It's in the Facebook group. You can search for it. It's just #tools workbook, #tools workbook. And I also posted it in the chat. I'll do it one more time so you can access it in the chat. Okay. All right, so just getting comfortable and taking a breath. And I'm just going to ask that you mute yourselves so that the recording is clean. Just do that. Go ahead and do that now. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So just taking a nice deep breath in and out of your heart center. Taking a moment to arrive with yourself with all of the emotion. Arriving with the sensations in your body. Noticing what's alive in you. And in fact, beyond noticing, welcoming what's alive in you right here, right now. Welcome it with a breath. I see you. I hear you. I'm listening. And then taking a moment to ground yourself. Inhaling, exhaling. And with that exhale, just imagine that there's some roots growing down from your root chakra, from the bottom of your feet, even into the center of Mother Earth. And just breathe in that beautiful support all the way up through your feet, through your legs, into your belly, and finally into your heart, grounding you in the truth of who you are. Feeling solid, grounded, rooted. And then just connecting with the divine, with the heavens, imagining and seeing a beautiful bright light above your head, bringing it down in through your crown chakra with a nice big inhale. Through your head, through your neck, into your chest area, mingling with the earth energy, aligning you with your divine nature. Connecting heaven and earth. And recognizing that you are the bridge between heaven and earth. You are the connector. You're here to be the connector. Grounding into your human nature, aligning with your divine essence, bringing the two together in your heart. And just centering. Nice centering breath. So imagine breathing in from above and from below at the same time. Meeting and mingling in your heart, and then exchanging roots, centering yourself. Just see that beautiful column of white light. That column of white light that goes all the way down into the center of the earth, all the way up through all of your energy centers, through all of your chakras, up through the top of your head into the heavens. Into the cosmos. And just take a moment to feel who you are. Plugging in to truth with a capital T. Plugging in to divine love. Making yourself available for the downloads, the wisdom, the knowledge, the abundance, the joy, the health, and the vitality that are right here, right now. Doing your best to just open as much as possible to all the love that's available right here, right now. Breathe it in. And at your own pace, you can just open your eyes and come back to the group. Just feel open to the support, to this love. This is a powerhouse group that was coming in. The last time I did this was 2 years ago, and there was over 200 people that registered. And I think I had about 30, 35 people, maybe 40 that showed up on the live call. This time there were 88 people that registered, 30 people on this call. What a divine number. 88, infinite, infinite, infinite times infinite. And that's what I'm all about, is helping people to connect with their infinite nature, helping people to connect beyond belief. Now think about that statement. Connection beyond belief. That really is my mission. Because where do beliefs come from? They come from your mind. They're programmed, they're conditioned. And so a belief by definition is limiting. And what I've been feeling more than ever and connecting with more than ever is that we don't need them. That life is really a process of letting go and letting go and letting go of all of those ideas, all of the beliefs that are limiting us from being and expressing authentically our true selves, the love, the light, the truth. And it's so big and it's so much that it's scary. So I have a question for you. Type your answers in the chat. How many of you feel like you have the tools to handle anything that comes your way? Yes or no? How many of you feel like you have the tools to handle anything that comes your way? How many of you feel confident that you can handle or be with anything that comes your way? Getting there? Yes, yes, I do. Oh my gosh, see, isn't this exciting? Think about you 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and tell me what your answer would have been, right? Like, has it changed? So, yeah, I do. Yes, yes. Certainly not feeling that way lately. Thank you. Thank you for your vulnerability, because man, it fluctuates, doesn't it? It changes day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. Not right now, getting there for the most part. Yes. So those of you that said yes, I'm guessing that you've really you probably some old souls. You've been through a little bit in your life. And thank God for those experiences that knock us down. Because where else would we really learn those tools, would we? Right? We wouldn't learn those tools except in times of desperation and despair and grief. Yeah. Changed so much from 2 years ago, Kim says, right? Yeah. Resounding no right now. Thank you. Yeah, I have the physical tools. Ah, thank you for saying that, Dennis. Yes. Lots of wonderful tools, but don't always implement them. Blocks occur. And isn't that the truth? And so life is all about identifying, noticing the blocks that are interfering with our true expression, right? So many wonderful tools. Yeah, so that's what we're here for this week, is to learn the tools that every time I'm going through something and notice myself judging that it shouldn't be like this. I need to fix this. I need to change this. Every time I notice that I've slid back into this old paradigm idea that I'm broken, that I need to fix things, that I need to change and control and manipulate, whenever I become aware of that, which is actually pretty quick these days, these are the tools that I fall back on. These are the tools that work every single time. These are the tools that came through several years ago when I was sitting in nature, moving through a dark night of the soul, that space in between levels of consciousness where I was confused and I was disillusioned and I was impatient because I knew that there was something more that was being asked for in my reality. And I just couldn't seem to get there. I couldn't seem to move through the blocks. And so when I sat and had my conversations with the divine, conversations with God, and asked for some steps, for some tools, these tools came through. And so today is all about replacing worry and self-doubt with inner peace. How many of you worry a lot or a little even? Yeah, lots of hands, yes. How many of you would like to worry less? Sweet, you're in the right place. How many of you are really good at second guessing yourself and get stuck in this space of indecision, worrying about making the wrong decision? Well, I have beautiful news for you. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a wrong decision. It's either the aligned decision or the clarifying decision. So it's the one or the clarifying one. And I love that. And I fall back on that a lot. So self-doubt is definitely one of the biggest blocks that we all have to some extent, especially if we're committed to growth and evolution. So if you're committed to your personal development, if you're committed to up-leveling yourself, then every time you move into the next iteration of yourself that's being asked for, that self-doubt, that fear is going to surface. And that's actually evidence that you're moving forward. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. In fact, it's all good. No exceptions. Everything is happening for our growth and evolution. Everything. And if you think back to some of the worst things, or what you judge to be the worst things that ever happened to you in your life, I'll bet most of you have realized and even decided that you wouldn't trade it for the world. Because I don't know about you, but I found my purpose in my pain. I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be doing these calls. I wouldn't be doing any of the stuff that I'm doing if I hadn't been through some turmoil, a dark night. So those of you that haven't met me before, my name is Jerry Trand. My business is Living from Heart Center. And my purpose is to help people die with no regret when it comes their time to transition by learning how to live and love fully now. Because to me, if you're not living fully, you're not loving fully. If you're not loving fully, you're not living fully. Loving fully is living fully. And we have all of this protection, all of these shields, all of these heart walls up around ourselves, believing that it's dangerous, that it's not safe, that we'll be abandoned, that we'll fail, that we won't be loved, that we're not lovable, that we're not good enough, all of these blocks. And man, if you're anything like I am, they're all coming up. They're coming up like rapid fire. Time has sped up. You're probably having memories that you have, things that you haven't thought of for ages coming up. Coming up to be seen, coming up to be loved, coming up to be integrated as wisdom. Your experience, every experience you've ever had in your entire life, translates into wisdom. Wisdom comes only from experience. It doesn't come from books. It doesn't come from other people. But we've been giving our power away. We've struggled to really trust ourselves because we're taught not to trust ourselves. We're taught to give our power away, but not anymore. We've shifted, times have changed. Crystal, too, found her purpose in her pain. Yeah. Yeah. So I am so, so grateful for one of like my very first dark night of the soul that lasted about 3 years. I don't know why they call it a night when they tend to be about 3 years long. um, but that was back in 2007, 2008, 2009 when I had full on anxiety attacks. I started having anxiety attacks, panic attacks, crushing chest pain, numbness in my legs, my arms, my face would go completely numb, heart palpitations, just a total physical breakdown, a total mental breakdown, a total emotional breakdown. I had done a few years of personal development work where I was actually addicted to personal development work. Um, so I was actually treating myself like a self-improvement project. Can anyone relate? Like, okay, what's the next thing I need to fix? What's the next thing I need to change? What's the next thing I need to upgrade? Yeah, we are our own beloved. It's not the best way to operate. I'll just tell you right now. Operating from that place of, constantly scanning ourselves for the next thing that we need to fix. I need to fix this. I need to change this. I need to get rid of this. Um, so I did some personal development work. I realized that I'd been operating completely unconsciously in autopilot from my subconscious conditioned mind. It was running the show pretty much all of the time. And so that propelled me into just questioning everything. It started when my father died in 2001. And I just started seeking, why am I here? What is life all about? What is death? What's my purpose? Asking those big questions. Who am I? Over and over and over. Careful what you wish for. Actually, I do highly recommend asking that question because it will open things up for you. And so then I just had a liquefaction, I think I'll call it, instead of a dark night of the soul. I was just liquefied, a puddle. Had no idea who I was. And I knew that I couldn't keep doing what I was doing. I knew that I had to live more authentically. And everything was breaking down. I was diagnosed with lupus. I was diagnosed with mitral valve prolapse. I was diagnosed with multinodular thyroid, hyperthyroidism, which is all about time, by the way. If you feel like time is running out, not enough time, gonna have some thyroid issues. And I was so distraught because I tried everything. I went to all the traditional doctors and practitioners, naturopath, chiropractic, like you name it. I tried it. I was juicing. I was painting my feet with iodine. I was doing oil pulling. Some of you are probably familiar with these things. And things would help until they didn't. And so I knew I was missing something. And I fell to my knees one day, totally distraught because I had to quit teaching. I was a school teacher at the time. I wasn't able to parent my kids properly. I was living in constant fear of dying of a heart attack because I thought that every time I had an anxiety attack, I thought it was a heart attack or I thought it was a stroke because of the numbness and the crushing chest pain. So, yeah. So I finally fell to my knees and just asked for help. And I asked, please take me or help me. Show me what I'm missing. Show me what I'm not seeing. And the answer that came to me was that I didn't love myself, that that was what the problem was. The only problem. And what if that is the only problem in the world today? Is that people don't love themselves. What if the purpose of life is to love yourself so that you can actually love others fully? The purpose of life is to love. And what if the purpose of time is to forgive? Because forgiveness purifies your filtering system and releases the blocks to love. So if the purpose of life is to love and the purpose of time is to forgive and let go of the blocks that are interfering with you being the love that you already are, doesn't that simplify things? But the truth is simple. Our mind complicates things so, so much. Simple and profound. So just take a breath into that. And so I started a self-love routine. I realized I needed to learn what it was to love myself. It was obviously beyond eating right and exercising and sleeping, because I thought that's what it was, right? Water, food, sleep. I thought that's what self-love was looking after yourself. And yes, that's a part of it. Looking after this physical vessel is a very important part. But we also have a mental body and an emotional body and a spiritual body that need to be looked after. And what I hadn't gotten was the importance of looking after the emotional body. And so that's what I started to do. I had discovered Ho'oponopono. And so the first thing I did was I forgave myself for not knowing how to love myself. I used the 4 phrases every single night. I would meet every ache in my body. I would meet the emotional pain and I would meet my fear with those phrases. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for your pain, dear heart, joints, head. Please forgive me for whatever I may have done in this lifetime and in all lifetimes that brought this into my reality. Thank you, right? That gratitude, completion. I love you. And then ultimately, as some of you know, many of you know that have been training with me, it boiled down into I'm here. I love you. I'm listening. So I would meet every ache, every pain with those phrases. I'm here. I would arrive with my breath, arrive in full presence with the emotional pain, with the physical pain, with the mental anguish. I'm here. I love you. I'm listening. And the breakthrough moment was when I realized that I'd been judging myself. I'd been judging that something was wrong with me because I wasn't healing. I'd been rejecting certain parts of me, trying to change them, saying that this is wrong, this is bad, trying to push them away, trying to fix them. I'm not healing. Why is this still here? What's wrong with me? Am I being punished? And then one day I just caught myself and realized that's not love. That's not what love would do. That's not what love would say. What would love do? What would love say? And I remembered the line in A Course in Miracles that said that everything is either love or a cry for love. And so I met it again with love. I welcomed every ache. I welcomed the sadness. I welcomed the fear. I welcomed the anger. I welcomed the joint pain, the chest pain with my breath. I met it. I welcomed it. And I loved it. And lo and behold, I did that every single night. And after a few months, I noticed that, geez, I haven't had any episodes for a while. I called them episodes because I was in and out of the hospital thinking I was dying of a stroke or heart attack. And then one day I realized I had no symptoms because I met my mental body, my spiritual body, my emotional body, and my physical body with love. So I started to really act in alignment with what love would do, to speak in alignment with what love would do. And then about a year after my body felt healed and vital and normalized again, I met the Zen Buddhist master that I trained with, Zen Master Nisa Mamon. And he sat us in a circle and he said, the day of enlightenment is the day that you speak to yourself and you treat yourself like you're someone you love. And I knew I was in the right place because that's what I just discovered. That's what made all the difference. And so, if you want to stop worrying, if you want to stop doubting yourself, the first thing you need to do is you need to welcome the worry, welcome the self doubt, right? Acknowledge it instead of judging it, because judgment is resistance. And what we resist persists. So every time I was trying to fix it, every time I was trying to change it, every time I was judging it as bad or wrong, something that I needed to get rid of, I was locking it in. That's what was preventing the healing because it was blocking my energy. Healing is just flow. And that's what I'm really connecting with these days. Is that healing is just flowing, is energy flowing freely through your body. That channel of energy, when I led that meditation, that grounding, centering, aligning meditation at the beginning, that's what heals you. Your presence is love. That flow is this love flowing through you from the divine, from Mother Earth, realigning everything with love. And that heals. What is the best tool to shift self-doubt, unworthiness, and worry? That's number one in your workbook. What's the best tool? How do you shift out of self-doubt, out of worry, unworthiness? What would be that opposite? Instead of worrying, I'm going to what? Type it in the chat. Yeah, trust, trust. Yeah, love's a good one too. So today is all about trust, the T in tools. The best tool to shift out of worry, unworthiness, and self-doubt is trust. When someone tells you, I trust you, that's number two. When someone tells you, I trust you, what does that really mean to you? So type your answers in the chat. When someone tells you, I trust you, what are they really saying? So here's the dyad, if this were a dyad, those of you that have done dyads with me before. When I say I trust you, I mean what? So feel into it. When I say I trust you, I mean, what do you really mean? When someone trusts you or you trust someone, you believe in them, they believe in you. I love that. So many of that, that all popped up all at once. They believe in you, they believe in you, they believe in you. Wow, but we don't believe in ourselves. We don't trust ourselves, right? So what if we just need to start believing in ourselves? I feel safe with you. Oh, right? I feel safe to be who I am with you. Huge. The answer is I can count on you. I can count on you. I know you're going to be there. You're going to be there for me in the good times and the bad, right? Are you there for yourself in the good times and the bad? Or do you reject yourself in the bad times? Do you judge yourself in the bad times? No wonder you don't trust yourself. No wonder you doubt yourself, right? Are you believing in yourself? Are you encouraging yourself? Are you there for yourself in those times, or do you just get really busy? I got to distract from this, man. This is really uncomfortable. I'm just going to binge on Netflix, man. I'm going to go into my fridge and see what I can eat to suppress this, right? Yeah. Phoebe says they would never purposely hurt you. They hold you safe, right? They'd never purposely hurt you. You would never purposely hurt yourself if you trusted yourself. But we have this need to punish ourselves a lot of the time because we feel guilty. We feel like we're not good enough. Danny says, love them fully. Feel safe. No judgment. Love me just as I am. Yeah, Leanne, guilty of being busy. I know that one well too. Isn't that wonderful that we've already mastered so many of those ways that we have learned to protect ourselves? We've already mastered them, so that means we don't need them anymore. Right? But it's important to master them. Yeah, I'm really good at that busyness thing. And then we can actually make light of it, right? And laugh at ourselves a little bit like, whoa, man, I'm good at that. Let's see what else. I wonder what else I could be good at. I wonder if I could be good at arriving for myself in stillness and presence. I think I want to master that next, right? Yeah. Run, medicate with food rather than be there for myself. Yeah. Even meditate, right? I realized at one point that I was using meditation as medication, right? That's what I would keep doing because it felt good. It was a great little spiritual bypass where I'm just going to meditate it away. But really I was medicating. I was using it as medication and distraction from actually just feeling the feelings, which transmutes them. What you're feeling, you're healing, not just for yourself. And I think you've probably realized that because these feelings are pretty big these days. And when those feelings are overwhelming, it's not all yours. So the first thing you want to do is give back what isn't yours and then hold space for what is. If you're overwhelmed with feeling, if it's over a 5 on the scale of 1 to 10, if it's over a 5 and it feels overwhelming, like I can't handle this, because remember the saying that God, the universe, source never gives you anything you can't handle. So if it feels like you can't handle it, the first thing you want to do is ask, is this mine? It's probably ancestral. And so maybe grab it, just really pull it out of your heart, pull it out of your gut, right? Spirit, I give this to you. Give it to spirit or give it back to the source of origin. You don't even need to know the source of origin. Maybe you do know, yeah, this is my mom's stuff. This is my dad's stuff. Then you can give it back to them for their growth and evolution with a blessing, right? That's their fertilizer. Shit is fertilizer. Give their shit back. It helps them grow. But taking on other people's shit, that's not fertilizer. That's toxic. Only your shit is fertilizer. So deal with your own shit. You don't need to take on anyone else's, right? They need that. They need that. A lot of people go for runs, run from their problems. Yeah, the fight, the freeze, the fawn. Yeah, exercise is good, but again, we can use it just like meditation is great too, but we can use it as medication. And so we actually want to get honest with ourselves, don't we? Yeah. So why do you trust some people and not others? That's number 3. Why do you trust some people and not others? What's the difference? Because we're here to learn how to really transmute that self-doubt, that unworthiness, all the worry. So we need to identify what's in the way of us really trusting. So they've proven themselves trustworthy. If they've judged you in the past, maybe we don't trust them, right? So showing up, they show up for you, they don't abandon you, you trust them. Why do you trust some people and not others? What is it about them? And so think about, a salesperson. There's the used car salesperson that is like the typical example, right? And sometimes you feel like you can trust them and sometimes you don't. And you don't know these people. They haven't shown up for you. They're a total stranger until you're in there shopping for a car. It's a perfect stranger. But we say, well, if they've shown up for us in the past, if they haven't let us down, trust is earned. But I want you to question that. Is that true? Is trust really earned? Or do you just know? Is there a knowing? Is there a gut feeling? Bad vibes, Joe says. Yeah. Stems from childhood programming, believing in teachers, media, parents, others, despite our intuition telling us otherwise, right? Giving our power away to authority figures, right? And well, they must know because they're an authority. So they must know better than me. But do they live in your body? How could they know better than you? What's right for you? We just do the best we can. Authenticity, old stories, judgments, the vibe you get from them, fears in the way, gut feeling. Yeah. So history for sure. But what I realized was that the difference between the people I trusted and didn't trust, it became, I realized that I trust you became, I feel your love. I feel that you're in a frequency of love and service. And so if I trust someone, it's like I can feel that they don't have an agenda. I can feel that they're not operating from fear, which is the opposite of love. I don't trust you became I feel your fear. I feel your fear of not making the sale. I feel that fear and I recognize it in my body that there's something off here, that there's an agenda. It's not pure. There's some interference. It's not a pure connection, is it? Love is a pure connection. Fear is all blocked up. There's interference. So really trusting someone is recognizing that they're operating and operating from love. So you'll trust yourself when you're operating from love. And you'll not trust yourself when you're operating from fear, or when there's an agenda, or there's that fear of failure, fear of abandonment. And that was really profound for me when I really felt into it. Number 4, why is trust so important to living a happy and fulfilling life? And we're going to get to that more. But I'm just going to say right now that it's the foundation. These tools are steps, and trust is the foundation. Because if you don't have trust, if you don't trust yourself, universe, others, there's a lot of prices to pay. And so that's the next section, is just to weigh it out. What are the costs of not trusting? What are the benefits of trusting? Because we don't change until we really see the prices that we're paying for something, right? We need to be motivated to make those changes, to trust ourselves. So the costs of not trusting, type them in the chat. Write them in your workbook. We already said being busy all the time, that's a symptom. That's a symptom of not trusting yourself. Busyness. Codependent relationships, another symptom. Isolation, yeah. Guilt, negativity, fear. Yeah, if we don't trust, then we're like living in this fear. Contraction as opposed to expansion. So the energy isn't flowing, that healing energy, that flow that is the opposite of dis-ease. The opposite of dis-ease, disease and illness, if you're suffering with some symptoms, is flow. It's just letting go of the blocks, right? Cost of not trusting equals stalemate. Stagnation. And stagnation is the mother of disease. So yes, we don't want to stagnate too long, do we? Broken relationships, jealousy issues. If you don't trust, then you need to control everything. If you don't trust that the universe has got your back, that you're being held, that you're being guided, that you're in partnership, then that's a hell of a lot of pressure, isn't it? So much pressure to control yourself, to control others, to control life. This perfectionism, this pressure, migraines, headaches, right? Guarded. Yeah, all these heart walls, these guards that interfere with connection, which is the new paradigm that we're already in. It's why all our stuff is coming up, because the earth's already moved through this veil. And some of us haven't. We're still like clinging to a box we've already outgrown, trying to live in this too small of a space, this tiny little box that we've already outgrown. But it's what we know. It's what we know. Yeah, never being able to fully relax, good one. Tension in your body. Absolutely. The opposite of flow again, right? Starts as tension, and eventually, if we don't actually arrive with it and welcome it and feel it and do some somatic work, right? That embodiment work, then it does get worse and becomes disease or cancer. And it's not your fault. And there is a remedy. Right? Creates unhealthy stories. Good. Yeah. So, difficulty making decisions, obviously. Feeling helpless, feeling scared, feeling like a victim, worrying so much about what people think of you. Huge symptom of not trusting yourself. Right? The benefits, I think we've already touched on that. You're flowing with life. You're more healthy. You have vital life force energy. You're energized. If you're not trusting yourself, all of those blocks make it so that channel of energy just has to wind and try and wind its way through you, but it's there's just too many blocks in the way. And so that vital life force energy is sucked out of you, and you're going to have chronic fatigue, like just exhausted, right? So the benefits of trusting, it's the path. It's the foundation to freedom. It's the foundation to surrender. Some of you, those are your words for this year, right? Surrender, trust, mind's vitality. Huge increase in your ability to manifest your desires because you're in flow with life. You're syncing up with joy in life, like Kim said. You're syncing up with the frequency of joy, of freedom. And when you're synced up and your desires come from that place, they can't not manifest, right? Increased ability to navigate challenges. Those of you that said no, like I don't have the tools to navigate these big challenges. These are them. Start here. If you only mastered this one thing, makes all the difference. You're going to have more deep and loving relationships. You're going to feel empowered. You'll be able to let go of control. Life is more fun and not so damn serious. Right? You'll feel lighter, more humor, more joy, more fun. There are 3 trust relationships. We already mentioned them. That's the next one on your workbook. So what are they? Type them in the chat. And my apologies. We are going to go over about 15 minutes today because I have to, well, don't have to. I chose to share my story because there's quite a few new people here and a little bit of guidelines for these 5 days. So if you have to leave, just know that the replay is posted in the Facebook group. After 4 o'clock, I'll post the replay in the Facebook group and you'll be able to catch the end there if you have to leave. But hopefully you can stay for about an extra 15 minutes. So the 3 trust relationships are with what? Self, source, and others, right? So self, source, or God, universe, whatever you choose to call it is perfect. Go with what resonates, right? Very important to trust yourself and trust what resonates for you. And not just because I call it God doesn't mean you should, right? Trust yourself. You know, I don't live in your body. So, number 5, which do you feel is the most important? Your relationship with yourself, your relationship with God, or your relationship with others? Trusting yourself, trusting God, or trusting others? What's the most important? What do you think makes all the difference? Self. Leanne says self, self, self. Self and God are tied for you. Danny, awesome. I like that. Self, source, then others. Self, because it's the basis of the other 2. God and me. Yeah. So self and God are I'd say the most common answer is self. For me, I've actually shifted it a little bit. And I say that the most important is God or source. Because I am that. I'm an aspect of that. And here I am, a human being living in life. And if I think I'm all alone here and I only have myself to trust, feel the pressure of that. I can only trust myself. Myself is the most important, and it's not that you can only trust yourself. But if you know that you're in relationship with all that is, there's an opening. There's a spaciousness, there's a freedom, there's a surrender, there's less pressure, there's more flow. And I love Einstein's quote because he says that the most important thing The most important question you can ask yourself, that there's one question that's the most important question that you need to ask yourself. Is this a hostile universe or a friendly universe? So you're either going to live as if everything's a miracle or nothing's a miracle. So if you believe that this is a friendly universe, in fact, if you know and you know, beyond belief, but you actually start to experience the love and the support simply by opening your heart to it, you start to feel it, you start to experience it, then your life is so much more fulfilling. There's an aliveness. How many of you can use more aliveness, right? Yeah, Delmeen says, friendly, what you think you become. So self and source are huge. And source is even bigger to me because I remember going through the training with the Zen master. And I remember very clearly the lesson on our relationship with existence. And what is our relationship with existence? And I remember sitting years after training with the Zen master. I went and I trained with him every year for 6 years. And I'd meet people that were in those trainings with me, and some of them were still suffering so much. And I couldn't understand. You've trained with this Zen master. You have the tools. Like, why are they still suffering so much? And so I sat in that inquiry and I felt into it. And the answer that emerged was that the difference is their relationship with source, their relationship with existence. They don't have one. They don't have a good one. That was the difference between somebody that suffered so much and someone that didn't. Someone that was like this embodiment of joy and someone that wasn't. So to me, it's of primary importance. Yeah, and I love what Deanne said, when you know God, you know yourself. There you go. Know thyself. Step 1 in enlightenment. Step 2 in enlightenment, to thine own self be true. But if that's it, know thyself. Know thyself as a wave of the ocean of all that is, an individual expression of the one. But if you think you're a wave operating in isolation from the ocean, no, right? You are the ocean expressing uniquely as a wave. Without the ocean, that's so much pressure. It's not fulfilling. It's not connected. It's not true. It's not aliveness. That's what enlivens you and your body and allows you to be here and allows you to love. It's huge. We're each a piece of the puzzle, cannot be the whole without the whole of God. Love that. Yeah. Yeah. So, how does our level of trust, number 6, in relationship influence how we view life? How does our level of trust in relationships influence how we view life? It's huge because we're all life. Kim's life, Gail's life. You're all representatives. You're the universe. You're God. You're all representatives of the universe, of the one. And so our relationship with God, with Source, is going to be reflected in our relationships with others. If I have a conflict with others, I have a conflict with life itself, with God. It's all just one big mirror. And don't worry, you don't have to get all of these concepts. This is just like just a little taster. So take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you find one golden nugget, that's all that matters. Number 7, without a trusting relationship with the universe, with existence, with God, it's like standing on one leg. So imagine standing on one leg. What happens when the wave hits you, knocks you over? Trust is the foundational tool. Trusting life. Otherwise, you're standing on one leg if there's just you. There's no stability. You won't have the same faith that you can handle anything that comes your way. It's huge. Number 8, if you connect with the universe fully enough, you will trust it. If you connect with the universe fully enough, you will trust it. Because how do you build trust in any relationship? You build trust in relationships through time in proximity. Quality time with someone, including yourself, is going to build trust. In connection with the part of you that's been crying out for your attention anyway. You know which part that is. It's been acting out. Just like a child. It acts out because it needs your love. It needs your attention. So if there's a part of you acting out, like a physical ailment or symptom, spend some time with it. Use those phrases. I'm here. I love you. I'm listening. Ask it what it needs. But I'll tell you right now that the answer is love. Always. Love and connection. Love and attention. Some iteration of that. And it does help to be specific if you have a specific need. But the answer is love. Your presence is that. It needs your presence. It needs you to arrive. It needs you to be here because healing takes place in your presence, not in your absence, not in your busyness, not if you're worrying about the future, not if you're dwelling on the past. Those are all interfering with your flow, with your healing, with your vitality, with your expression. Healing takes place in your presence. The best way to deepen trust and connection with the universe is to what? Type it in the chat. What's the best way to deepen that connection? So if connection is going to help you trust. All right, AJ says surrender. Welcome, AJ. Gail says love. Yeah. Go with the flow. Oh, such good answers. Open to it. Yay. Yeah, love it. What I put was meditate. But they're all right. None of them are wrong. And these are your answers. Grab hold of them. Use them. Do something with them. So I said the best way to deepen that trust and connection with the universe is to meditate, is to spend time, is to slow down, stop, be still and know. Be still and know I am God. I am the universe. So just sitting in meditation, in stillness, for me, reminds me who I am when I'm getting caught up in busyness and overwhelm. So yeah, that's what love is. It's opening to it. It's going with the flow. It's love. So all of those answers are beautiful. It's surrender, isn't it? Surrendering. Thy will be done. Number 10, you'll begin to see that life happens for you. So that's like, the shift from victim to empowerment, from life happens to me, poor me, everything's happening to me, why is this happening to me, to life happens for me, everything's happening for my growth, everything's happening for my evolution. Everything is happening as an invitation to level up, wake up, be here now, right? Everything. And it doesn't always feel good, but we're here for the full spectrum of feeling. Not just who was it? I think it was Dr. Sue Morter who was saying, we're here for the whole keyboard, all 88 keys, right? Don't just play up here. I only want the joy and the love and the happiness. It's like, no, the sadness, the guilt, the shame, that's all part of this life experience. And with it comes this wisdom, right? Our bodies don't lie. Our feelings are telling us something. It's just a communication. It's wisdom. It's energy. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you love this. Tell me, and I'm glad it's speaking to you. Yeah, so life is happening for you, and my purpose, part of my purpose is really to help people not even go beyond that to life happens through me, right? The next level of consciousness from life happens for me to life happens through me, and allowing ourselves to be that open vessel for that life force energy, that flow. And there's so much healing there. Oh my goodness. I'm so grateful to be doing this for you or with you because I needed this reminder. I've been feeling it big time. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So thank you for showing up for me and for yourselves. This is like, I'm feeling it. Oh, thank God. Number 10, people are, now this was a big one for me. People are grateful for the things that make them feel safe. So the blanks are grateful and safe. People are grateful for the things that make them feel safe. And then number 12, focusing on gratitude will help you feel safe and trust life. So kind of to turn that around, right? When I started just thinking what I was grateful for, and it's like, yeah, I feel safe. And people are grateful, you know, what the things you're grateful for are things that you can trust. That's another one. What if the things that you're grateful for are things that, you know, you trust them? And so you're grateful for them. So you might not be truly grateful for a certain person in your life because you don't trust them. You don't trust them, but you are grateful for the lessons that they're teaching you. So there is a gift, right? There's a gift in every single relationship, always. So grateful for the lessons, grateful for the discernment, not that. Grateful for the clarity, right? And you can trust that. And so if you focus on gratitude, like it's such a magical superpower. And I know everyone harps on gratitude and having a gratitude practice, and that's your homework. Your homework is 5 things you're grateful for, and it's not a list. It's not a mental activity. It's a felt sense. What does gratitude feel like in your body? So I want you tonight and in the Facebook group to post under the homework thread. You'll find it in that Heart-Centered Living Community Facebook group, the homework thread for today. Post those 5 things that you're grateful for with all your heart, and then sit and feel open to those things. What does it feel like? What does gratitude feel like? Keep stacking them into your heart, bringing them into your heart, expanding them in your heart until you're overflowing with gratitude. I want you to familiarize yourself with that frequency of gratitude, with the energy frequency, with the vibration of gratitude, with the feeling of gratitude, with the sensations in your body. So it's not making a list of what you're grateful for. That's only the very tip of the iceberg. Gratitude is so much deeper than that. Number 13. Oh my goodness, my printout, I can't even read it. When we trust the universe, we can have more fun and become less attached and fearful. When we trust the universe, we can have more fun, right? Because otherwise we have to take life so seriously because we have to control everything. We have to be in control. And there's so much pressure there. We're standing on one leg. Of course you have to be in control. Put the other leg down. Be in partnership with all that is, partnership with the universe. Open your arms and say, I'm ready to be your partner. Right? So you can have more fun and you can be less attached. So there's this attachment too that goes with a lack of trust. Then we're attached to the way things need to look. And if it doesn't look like that, we're not happy. Something's wrong. We have to change it. We have to fix it. Instead of just trusting, huh, well, this must be something even better than what I could have imagined. And it's true. I remember when my spiritual partner and we bought, well, he was my boyfriend back then. Now we're more spiritual partners, but we bought a house together. We put we put an offer in on a home, and we were all excited about this home. It was like the perfect one. And someone else put a higher offer in, and they got it, and we didn't. And we looked at each other, and he said, "Pop the champagne." And we both started laughing. And he said, "That means there's something better. There's something more aligned for us." So we didn't get the house that we put an offer in because there was something better. And you know what? There was something better. We got an even better house. And so if you trust, you can just trust that everything's happening perfectly. I used to say that everything happens for a reason. Does anyone kind of live by that? Everything happens for a reason. Problem is I get caught up looking for the reasons. So it became too much of a mental activity and it put me into my head too much. And because I was like, what's the reason in this? What could be the gift in this? What could be the, the reason for this? And so now I'm just, life is happening perfectly. Everything happens perfectly. And I'll know the reason when I know the reason or not. Everything happens perfectly. And so finally, let's see, 14. Can't quite read the first part of it because okay, trusting, yes, I think it's trusting the universe alleviates what? Worry and fear and our need to control others and to control life. You could put life in there too, others/life. So trusting the universe alleviates worry and fear and our need to control others, to control the external, right? Others, life. And remember that there's no such thing as a wrong decision or a bad decision. You can take the direct route or the scenic route. Either way, you'll gain clarity. So it's either the aligned decision or the clarifying decision. Either way, you'll gain clarity. Make a decision. Do not stay spinning in stagnation for very long. It causes disease. It's the opposite of flow, right? Yeah. So your homework. Let's wrap this up. Oh my goodness, I went almost 20 minutes over. All right. Gratitude practice. So every night, gratitude practice. Every night this week, at least. What I want you to get in that habit, right? It's not a mental activity. Remember, it's a felt activity. At least 5 things, 5 people, places, events that you're grateful for. And then really familiarize yourself with the vibration of gratitude in your body. This is an embodied activity, not a mental one. It's for your heart. Every morning, I would recommend opening your arms to receive. Open your arms and declare to the universe, I'm ready to be your partner. Show me what's in my highest. And put that second leg down. Because without a partnership with the universe, it's like standing on one leg. And you'll be easily rocked and toppled over. And then be open, be receptive, and breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe it in. Breathe in that love, breathe in that support. Plug into it, tune into it. It's always there. It's never not. Yeah. So your homework is to share at least a couple things that you're grateful for in that Facebook group. Do the gratitude practice tonight and every day this week. And the second part is to make an agreement with yourself that you're going to act upon in the next 48 hours. Because that's one of the biggest reasons that we don't trust ourselves, is because we keep breaking our agreements with ourselves. We say we're going to do something and we don't. How many of you are good at that? You've already mastered it? Breaking agreements with yourself? Good. So are you ready for something different? So it's an easy fix, isn't it? Make agreements and keep them. So the remedy for self-doubt, one of the remedies is to make agreements with yourself and keep the agreements with yourself, which means that you need to make an agreement with yourself that you know you're going to keep. Don't make it too lofty. So the question that I ask my clients when we set up, an agreement is I say, on the scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to keeping that agreement? Because sometimes they're like, I'm going to meditate, Jerry, for an hour every single day this week. And then they say, yeah, I'm like a 7, a good solid 7. No. Then I know they're setting themselves up for failure and a downward spiral of self-worth and self-trust. So I'm like, what would make it a 10? Okay, 2 hours this week. Is that a 10? Yes. Then that's your agreement. So I want you to make a commitment, post it in the Facebook group for some accountability, offer other people some likes, some feedback. I have some contests running. You can get free coaching. You can get a free scholarship into my 6-week tools program where we really make this a way of life. So the more you participate, the more you engage, the more you encourage one another, the more chances you have of winning. So thank you so much for being here today. Make that agreement with yourself. Who wants to share what their agreement is? Who already knows what they're going to commit to? What are you going to commit to that you can act on in the next 48 hours? Because that will build self-trust. It will build self-worth. We have to rebuild that. Kim, what's your agreement?
My agreement is to show up for myself
And what does that look like?
when I commit to something that I am going to follow through.
Okay, so how will I know though? How can you act on that in the next 48 hours?
This homework.
Ah, okay. So making an
Yeah.
agreement to do the homework. So you're going to post in the Facebook group. That's acting on it in the next 48 hours.
Yes.
Yay. Awesome. Yeah. And then, take a moment to acknowledge yourself. When you keep your agreements, like, hey, good job. I did it. Right? You wouldn't let your kid down. And but we let ourselves down. I was going to say, and the people that you love, which means that you don't love yourself if you're breaking agreements with yourself because you don't let the people that you love down, or you at least renegotiate the agreement. If you know you're going to break it, you let them know. You don't just no-show for them. So stop no-showing for yourself. Right? Yeah. All right. Now let's see. Committed to doing a check-in every day. What I need to attend to that day. Awesome, Jen. Yeah. And the more specific, like when you're going to do the check-in, what that looks like, the better, right? Yeah. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Thank you all for all of your love. I hope that you benefited from today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. It'll be a little bit shorter because I won't have the setup that I need to do tomorrow. So let's see. So trust. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to really access witness consciousness, which is a huge superpower. So definitely show up tomorrow. I'll see you at 2:30. I love you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye-bye, everyone.